Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. I've got a cat in my lap right now. Sorry if that gets in the way of my voiceover. Pokemon Platinum with only one Shuckle was a fun solo run. Let's follow that up with another team run. Today's the day that we figure out that Sabu just jumped off of my lap and I can do a normal voiceover now. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Blue with a team of only version exclusives? You know the drill at this point. We're building a team completely out of Pokemon that are in Pokemon Blue but not in Pokemon Red. Now I'll warn you, this is very confusing to look at because I'm grabbing this screenshot on March 31st. But I guess in Bulbapedia's time zone it must be April Fool's Day because they decided to make the whole website black and white. To make it more confusing, we're looking at the red and green versions, not red and blue. That's because you can see at the top, Japanese blue is different from the English version of blue. The green list applies to our version of blue. Some people were confused by that last time, and I really can't blame you, because I was confused too. That means that we have access to Sandshrew, Vulpix, Meowth, Bellsprout, Magmar, and Pinsir. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I think this looks like it might be a stronger team than in the red version exclusive run. I could see us winning at a pretty low level. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use version exclusives. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Charmander with Meowth so that we can do the whole run with it. I figure it's one of the weaker and early game Pokemon, so it's a lot more fair to start with it rather than something really strong like Pinsir. That said, Meowth can become a real monster in Gen 1. Alright, so while we're grinding a bit to prep for the Rock Gym. You know how Gen 1 crits are based on base speed, right? So there's a handful of Pokemon that pretty much just always crit when using high crit moves like Razor Leaf and Slash. Persian is one of those Pokemon, but it doesn't learn Slash until level 51, which might not happen. I'm thinking it could be an amazing candidate for Body Slam though, so I think that might be what I'll do. It's the only normal type on our team after all. Anyway, at level 12 we learn Bite, and although it's normal type, it still does cause flinches, so I think we might be able to beat the Rock Gym around level 15. I did a Meowth only run like 3 years ago, and I think it was level 15 that I got past Brock on that one. Although I'm pretty sure that crits played a pretty big luck factor in that. We'll see how it goes. Gen 1 crits are crazy. Okay, after 5 incredibly slow and boring attempts where I'd either lose to Onix critting more than 3 times or him spamming Screech to ruin our defenses, we got this narrow victory where we won just thanks to lots of flinches from Bite. This fight isn't hard, but it's pretty much completely random based on flinches, crits, and their move choice. It didn't take too many tries though. Alright, we're on the road again. So it's just us and Meowth for a little while, but our second Pokemon isn't too far off. We do have to get past the rival fight though, and that's usually a hard one. All it takes is one sand attack at the start, and we're gonna have an awful time. On our way through though, I took the Helix Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Hey, the rival fight was pretty easy. I think I'm even a lower level than in my Meowth challenge. Sand Attack did make us miss a bunch near the end, but it really wasn't too bad, especially considering Meowth's stats aren't really that good. That just means that we get our Bellsprout. I love Bellsprout, such a cool Pokemon. I'm pretty pumped to use it. There really aren't any great places to train it around here, but I'll try to at least switch train it a little bit so we can get it ready for the Water Gym. The Water Gym ended up being really easy, although Bellsprout didn't quite do the whole fight on his own. If I used Growth more early on than he could have though, in Gen 1 Growth is basically just Calm Mind, so it's a pretty strong move. Anyway, next is the Essensan, and our Bellsprout is already a Weepin' Bell. It only needed a few levels after all. It's a pretty solid Pokemon, and it's doing a good job against water types, but our only attacking grass move is Vine Whip, and it's only got 10 power points. I never really understood why, considering it's a pretty weak move, but I guess it's better than nothing. We don't get Razor Leaf until level 33, but once we have it, I'm gonna use a Leaf Stone to evolve him into Victory Bell right away. As I'm sure you know from Erica's Grass Gym, Victory Bell with Razor Leaf in Gen 1 nearly always critically hits. That alone is gonna turn Victory Bell into likely one of the strongest members of our whole team. Of course, our rival on the Essensan was pretty easy. We had to switch after Pidgeotto because of Sand Attack, but that's alright. Weepinbell with growth is really strong this early in the game, so this fight was never going to be an issue. The electric gym right after was also super easy since Weepinbell resists electric moves. Growth completely shut his ability to hurt us down. That means that we're heading through Rock Tunnel, but more importantly, we get our next Pokemon on the other side. We go ahead and catch Vulpix. It's pretty weak, but the combined special stat in Gen 1 makes it hit a little bit harder with its fire moves, and it learns Flamethrower at level 35, so I'm sure that we'll get a chance to evolve it. The moment it hits level 35 and learns Flamethrower, I'll get a Firestone and evolve it. Now, I'm going to grind it up a little bit, then go take on the Grass Gym. Now, even after a lengthy grind, Vulpix really wasn't cutting it in the Grass Gym. The Victory Bell at the start can only two-shot Persian with Razor Leaf, but it's the only Pokemon that's faster than him, so it's my only chance to not get stuck in a Wrap loop. Weirdly enough, you can switch well in Wrap in Gen 1, although the opponent gets a free hit-in on you with some random move in the process. It took a few tries to get their move choice to work out in our favor, but nothing could really hurt Weepinbell, so we always had him as a backup if we needed him. Not too bad. That means we're doing the Rocket Hideout next. I figure Giovanni should be pretty easy since we have strong grass types this run, but after that is a rival fight where he's got a Water Onix, so that could give us some problems. I figure Persian might be able to handle it though. What I'm really worried about is trying to catch a Pinsir in the Safari Zone. I guess I could convert money into coins and buy it instead, but it's pretty expensive and I doubt we'd be able to afford it for quite a while. That said, what's Pinsir? A 4% encounter rate, plus it's hard to catch? That's probably going to take a little while, but at least if we get it earlier, then we can start grinding it sooner. It doesn't have amazing moves, but it does have amazing stats, so it's worth using. I'll probably just teach it strength once we get it, since that's a solid move in this game. You know, believe it or not, Giovanni put up a bit of a fight. His rock and ground types were easy, but Kangaskhan actually took out Persian. That's debatably the strongest Pokemon we have right now. Now, I know he got lucky with all the crits, but still, none of our team is super strong yet. You think the rival fight will go okay? Wow, I know this one usually goes well, but other than a quick attack at the start, we didn't even get hit. We might not have super strong Pokemon, but Persian crits like crazy and our type coverage is passable for early game. I doubt that we can beat the Poison Gym yet, though. Alright, so we're on the road, and there's a new Pokemon available to us, but it's probably going to take a little while for us to catch. As far as I can tell from Bulbapedia, the first area of the Safari Zone is the easiest place to find Pinsir with a 4% encounter rate, but it's also really hard to catch him, so I'm sure we're not going to successfully catch him on the first one that I find. The annoying part is that I have to walk around to get into encounters, but using up our steps will get us kicked out eventually, and then we have to pay more money to get back in. So basically, the longer this takes, the more it'll drain our money, but thankfully it's pretty cheap. I really do want to get Pinsir without having to buy it though, since buying it would take longer and it might really fall behind by then. There's literally no difficulty to catch a Pinsir, mind you. It's all just walking around until one shows up, and then you throw some rocks and safari balls and hope for the best. I mean, I guess if I really wanted, I could beat the Poison Gym, go here, fly to Cinnabar, and then surf on the right side of the island until Pinsir appears and catch it normal. Everyone knows about that glitch since it's a popular way to find missing now, but I'd have to beat the Poison Gym first. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes, and if I don't catch a Pinsir within that time, then I'll just save state the next time I find a Pinsir so that we can try catching it over and over until I get it, and I'll record how many failed catches it took. It's an even balance of having fun, being fair, and not wasting everybody's time. Okay, it really wasn't that bad. I caught the fourth Pinsir that I found without needing save states. First one, I just threw Pokeballs and didn't catch it. The second one was eating, but the Pokeballs kept missing. The third one ran away immediately after one rock. And the fourth one got hit by a rock and then got caught. Alright, I'll grind this thing up a bit, teach it strength, and maybe it can help us in the Poison Gym fight. Also, Vulpix is real close to learning Flamethrower, so I'll grind it to at least level 35, then evolve it. Right away, Pinsir was doing a great job at taking out Coughing. We got poisoned along the way, but it was just from smog, so at least it's not toxic. I switched to Persian for Muck, knowing that I would probably need crits. We were doing okay damage, but after Muck used X-Attack, Sludge took us down fast. Ninetales was able to finish it though. The second Coughing was nearly a one-shot with Ninetales, but we lost accuracy and got critically tackled for a small chunk of damage. We took it out and last is wheezing, so I switched to Weepinbell with the idea of putting it to sleep and spamming acid to chip away at his defenses so that other members of the team could do better damage. It worked awesome. with us getting loads of defense drops on him. Obviously, Acid itself was hardly doing any damage, but we got so many defense drops in that Acid did start to eventually do a bit more. I thought I'd switch to something else to finish it off, but Gen 1 Sleep is so overpowered that we took him down with Acid spam. That was crazy. With that stunning win, we get our next Pokemon. I go to Cinnabar Island right away and catch Magmar. This is our second fire type, so it's a little bit redundant, but it's still a solid Pokemon. It's a little weaker in Gen 1 though, due to the combined special being lower than its special attack would be in later games. It also doesn't learn any good fire moves for a really long time, so I'm just gonna teach it Fire Blast with the TM that we get from the Fire Gym. Now, I was about to say that we have no water or ground types, so this fight might be rough, but then I realized something. And now that I think about it, it's probably driving you insane. Yep, I totally forgot I was allowed to catch a Sandshrew in this run. Man, I could have gotten that forever ago. That would have helped so much in the Poison Gym specifically. Well, at least I have one now. Look, this is why I always say I am not great at Pokemon. I just casually play Pokemon a lot. Sometimes stuff like this slips my mind. I read the comments though. I know that the fact that I'm not awesome at these games is half the reason why so many of you watch. I'm not awesome at Pokemon. I'm just having fun playing it. That's why I don't say I'm a Pokemon YouTuber or a PokeTuber or anything like that. Dude, I'm not qualified. I'm not some kind of scholar of this stuff. I'm just a guy who really likes playing Pokemon and has a gaming channel, you know? I'm not part of the Pokemon community or anything. I'm just having fun making videos. Anyway, give me some time to grind up this Sandshrew to maybe high level 20s or low 30s, and then I'll take a shot at the Fire Gym. Alright, Blaine, you officially need your badge revoked? This is insane. Would you look how much of a higher level his whole team is than us? Our new level 33 Sandslash did most of the fight for us, and the only reason Blaine even got a single knockout is because he had the good sense to use Fire Blast with Sandslash, just for him to waste his opportunity by using stuff like Roar. Oh, and he also used a Super Potion while he had full health when I was on the first turn of Dig. That's a new one. Usually when they use a full health Super Potion, I can't believe what I'm even saying. Usually when they use a full health Super Potion. No, that's real. He does that. Usually when they use a full health Super Potion, it's right before my attack lands, but this was a whole turn early. I don't even know why the AI works like that. Well, that means I'm doing Silph Co next. I really don't know what to think. On one hand, the rival fight here is usually hard, but on the other hand, we have an alright team. Some of them are a bit lower level than our rival, but we have more type coverage than usual, and some of these Pokemon are pretty good. Maybe Alakazam will shut us down just because he's super fast and hits really hard and crits like a machine, but either than that, I think it might go really well. I'll fight just a few trainers and then give our rival a try. Well, this had me shocked. The fight wasn't just a win, but it was really easy. Our Persian is faster than Alakazam, probably just because the AI doesn't have any stat experience in this game, so really, nothing was a problem. Blastoise at the end managed to do some real damage to the team by taking out Weepinbell early, with some very lucky flinches and crits on Bite, but I was able to throw in Persian and Pinsir to finish it off after. I guess it's time for the boss rush then. Well, Giovanni after was easy as always. Ninetales with Flamethrower is really pulling ahead as our party's hardest hitter. I felt like I was just dragging Vulpix along for most of this run, but as soon as it got Flamethrower and evolved, it became our MVP. We need physical strength for the Psychic Gym though, so let's hope that Persian can handle it. Well, in yet another legendary Psychic Gym fight, we did not get hurt once because Alakazam decided it was better to use Reflect nearly every single turn. Thanks for the free badge, Sabrina. The chilling story of Sabrina is that she doesn't know how Pokemon works. And last was Giovanni's ground gym. Weepinbell finally got Razor Leaf, so I evolved him and just had him brute force his way through the fight. I was using Growth a little bit at the start, and that's when I remembered that it doesn't really matter. Razor Leaf is gonna just crit just about every time anyway, and in Gen 1, crits don't take into account your attack boosts, so essentially, all Growth is gonna do is help us take less damage from those special moves. Even with part of his team being part poison, we still just overpower him fine. Rival time, right away Pidgeot quick attacks us and gets wing attack in because we missed a flamethrower due to the 256 glitch. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Gee, I wonder why. We lost most of our health before we took it down. Victory Bell one-shots Rhyhorn with Razor Leaf, and Growlithe was too easy as soon as Sandslash used Dig. Execute went down to 1 critical Fire Blast from our under-leveled Magmar, and next is his ever-terrifying Alakazam. He starts with Reflect. That's bad. Our bites weren't doing much. We took massive damage off Psychic, nearly one-shotting us, as we crit to bypass his Reflect. He used Reflect again. We bit to almost take him down. He used a regular potion. We bit to bring him right back down to low health again, and he hits Psychic to finish us off, but his health is in red. Out to Pinsir, but we get outsped and hit by a Psychic that one-shots us. That's real bad. So I send in Sandslash when magic happens. Alakazam misses a Psybeam, so we just hit the finishing blow. I double-checked. In Gen 1, Psybeam has 100 accuracy, so that means that was probably the 256 glitch again. While you watch the very easy Blastoise fight, I'll explain for those of you who are new. It's a hilarious glitch in Gen 1 Pokemon games where every move has a 1 in 256 chance of missing, regardless of accuracy. Yes, even Swift. I don't think I can count this as breaking the rules. I feel like glitches that I'm completely powerless to prevent are fair game, right? It's like the badge boost glitch. If you had to restart the fight every time someone uses Leer on you, then it would just get in the way of actually playing these runs. Especially since in Gen 1, even the Pokemon champion has Leer, and I had the glitch happen twice in that fight. It's far from the first time that I've had it happen, and I bet you that you've noticed it happen in runs where I didn't even notice it. It's just part of the game. Last bit of travel before the end of the game. Things are going pretty smoothly this run, but I think it's time that I really start figuring out who needs what TMs. Most of the team could learn Body Slam, but Persian is the strongest with it, so that seems sensible. But once Persian learns Slash, I'm gonna use that. So in that case, Body Slam would have been better on Pinsir. Our entire team can learn Body Slam, by the way. Yes, even Victory Bell. I do know that I want to teach Thunderbolt and Bubble Beam to Persian. I forgot I could learn those. Such a weird move for it to be able to learn, but whatever, I'll take the type coverage. Last, I got the Rock Slide TM for Sandslash. I don't think I'll need it, but it doesn't hurt to have the coverage. Plus, it's a really cheap to get TM. Now that we're the Elite Four, let's take a look at our team. Well, there's no way we're winning at this level, but we might not be far off. I'll get the team up to level 40 so that no one's lagging super far behind, and then we can start making attempts. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. Dugong is first, and I try Thunderbolt with Persian, but it wasn't doing much. I would have switched moves, but Dugong used Rest early, basically giving up the fight and letting me beat it up. Never hit us once. Cloyster was easier with Thunderbolt because of its bad special stat. We got confused, but we didn't hit ourselves, so it didn't matter. We switched to Victory Bell for Slowbro, and Razor Leaf hit so hard. He used Amnesia, and that would be a problem if not for how we're always gonna crit with Razor Leaf, so we just bypassed his buff and took him out. Jinx body slammed Magmar a couple times for great damage, but 2 Fire Blasts took it out. God, she was an entire 16 levels higher than us there. Last is Lapras, and we hit hard with Razor Leaf, but we just went down in a single Blizzard in response, so I sent in Persian with Thunderbolt. It wasn't doing much, and we went down fast, but at least we got it to red health. Pinsir was able to finish it off easily. Feels great to take it down at such a low level. Second is fighting trainer Bruno. This was a cakewalk though. His whole team other than Onix went down easily to Flamethrower, and Onix itself was easy with Razor Leaf. No danger. Third was Ghost Trainer Agatha. She was also mostly really easy with Sandslash using Dig since her team is Poison type, but naturally she does have a few more tricks than Bruno and could hurt us a lot worse. We were never anywhere close to losing the fight, but we did struggle a little bit. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Lance. Right away, we crit Water Onix with a Thunderbolt that also paralyzed him, but not fully, so we eat a massive Hyper Beam that one-shots us. Now, Hyper Beam doesn't make you recharge if you get the knockout in Gen 1, and that's a problem, because we missed Rock Slide and Sandslash went down to 1 Hydro Pump. This is a horrible start. Okay, so Pinsir goes in, doesn't make it faint, and then it goes down to 1 Hydro Pump. This is miserable. Victory Bell finishes it off. Now's the fun part, the dragons. For them, we can just keep Victory Bell in and slowly whittle them all down with Acid. They spam agility. It's just a bad Gen 1 AI thing. They think it's their best move because we're part poison type, so none of his dragons are actually gonna fight us. That means the only other threat on his team is Aerodactyl, who did take out our whole team other than Victory Bell, but as soon as it went down, we had the win sealed since Dragonite could never even attack us. It took a long time to take it down, but we won. Finally, the Pokemon Champion. The first try was obviously a disaster though. They're like 20 levels higher than us. You know it's bad when Pidgeot is beating us up. But Alakazam just swept our whole team. We won the Pokemon Red exclusive run with our team around level 45. Let's get up to that. Okay, first real try where we stood a chance. Right away, Pidgeot was easy as he could hardly damage Sandslash, and he wasted turns with stuff like Whirlwind. Rock Slide didn't hit as hard as I wanted, but whatever, we still took it out safely. Of course, as soon as Alakazam came out, he used Reflect, so I'm worried, but then he used Reflect 2 more times as we crit with Bite to nearly take him out. But he pulls it together and hits Psychic to nearly one-shot us before we took him out. Rhydon was of course a one-shot with Razor Leaf, and next is Arcanine, who does surprisingly large amounts of damage to Sandslash with Ember before we took him out with a couple hits of Dig. Executor took a huge Fire Blast and got burned right away, but also put us to sleep, so Magmar took a beating. We actually fainted because we were asleep for so long, but it's fine of course, because we've got Ninetales to finish it off. Last is Blastoise, so I just had Victory Bell come in with Razor Leaf. Problem is, he's faster and Blizzard is super accurate in Gen 1, so we nearly go down on the first round. He takes us out on the second. Remember, there's no power points for AI trainers in this game, so he can do that forever. But as soon as I sent in Pinsir, he started wasting time with stuff like Withdraw and Bite. We were hardly hurting him with Strength, and we went down to Hydro Pump, but Persian was able to finish it off with Thunderbolt. We get the win. Well, I feel like that team was overall better than the red team for most of the run, but it's kind of crazy that we both ended at about the same level. I'd say that the blue team was overall better, but nothing on my blue team was as useful as the red team's Electabuzz. That thing was a beast. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday like usual, with Pokemon Gold with only normal type Pokemon. I've got some history with that one. I'm sure it'll be a fun run. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Now, I'd love to go forever with a really long outro, like I usually do, but it is 11 p.m. on a Sunday, which is normally a day off for me. I take Wednesdays and Sundays off. Okay, that's a lie. I tried to take Wednesdays and Sundays off and end up working through them commonly, but it is 11 p.m. on a Sunday, which is the latest I have ever done a voiceover for a Pokemon challenge. So I gotta motor and get editing, although don't worry about me. It's not like it's not like everything's horrible or something. I'm sure you can tell from my voice that I am actually quite happy, quite a bit happier than I've been in a long time. But you don't go concerning yourself with that. Just be happy that I'm happy for now, and if you know why, then you'll know why one day. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.